Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are doing day 6 of Advent of Cyber, and at this time the task says patch management is hard, and I've not read this, so this is the first time I'm doing this again. And it says the only way to access the server is through an old application. See if you can pull out those recovery keys. So it looks like we need to get the recovery keys of something to get the access to server. Maybe, I guess. Okay, so looks like we are getting into local file inclusion this time. And LFI vulnerability is found in various web applications. Just a tutorial. Then the risk of LFI. LFI can be used to get RCE, remote code execution. And there are procedures of identifying the LFI and how to test LFI. So it's something like a website where you have the page get.php and with the argument file with a parameter file set to the file name. So if you can somehow change this file name to like etc password location and you can access the password file, then this application is vulnerable to LFI. And here you can see parameters are used with Google searching, where get request pass user input into search engine. All right, like google.com, and search on search page you can see the query uh, Q parameter, that's this TryHackMe, the query, the string you have searched. So once you have the LFI, it says once you find the entry point, we need to understand how this data could be processed within the application. Here's the example of a PHP code that is vulnerable to LFI. The PHP starting and closing tags, and then include get request maybe, and then file parameter. So whatever you insert after file parameter will be treated as the file name, and you can access any file. So the above PHP code uses the get request by the URL parameter file that is used to include files, and this request can be made if you browse to this URL, then you can access the welcome.txt text file. And to test the LFI, you can just issue these requests, these file names, sorry. And if you can see these files on the output of these files, then yeah, this is vulnerable to LFI. Then we have the exploiting LFI and then PHP filter. So you can also use PHP filter to get the output of some files. And here we have LFI to RC via log files. So if you can access a log file, then you just make a get request to the server with the payload string such as a PHP code. So that PHP code will display on the web page and get embedded, and it will display whatever you input in the PHP code. Okay, so enough talking, let's just get into what we are given here. Sorry for the sloppy cut, but I had to go somewhere and I had to stop my recording. So continuing, we are going to look at the web application. It says deploy the VM and look around what is the entry point for our web application. So it's looking for the entry point of local file inclusion. So let's take a look. So yeah, when I open this IP, let me show you. Let's copy the IP and paste it here. And I have just pasted the IP, and you can see index.php appended and also the ERR parameter with the error.txt file name. And if I scroll down, you can see it says you cannot access this page, you need to log in. So if I remove this error.txt and press enter, you can see that the error just removes, it does not pops up anymore. So it looks like it was taking that string from error.txt file, because the .txt file. So looks like we have the LFI parameter here. So we can try maybe etc password location, so to see if we can include files. So let's try that, slash etc slash password, specifying the password file location and pressing enter. We can see by scrolling down that we have the contents of password file. So yeah, this is vulnerable to local file inclusion. Okay, so what now? Let's see the page source quickly, and we can see that there is a MySQL user and all the default users. Okay, so we know that MySQL is running on this box, so this is our enumeration part. As this error message hits us, it says welcome guest, so we are guest of course, and then it says the server has sensitive information. So we know that says this server stores sensitive information, and that is what we want. As hackers, we are just searching for the sensitive information. And then it goes on saying all actions on this server are logged in. So looks like there's a lock process going on that is capturing all of our requests and all of our actions. So that is also handy tip. You should always see what errors mean, and whatever the text is displayed on your screen, does it hint you anything and does it tell you anything. And yeah, so this line alone tells us that there is sensitive information on this server and our actions are recorded, or you can say logged in. Okay, enough blabbering. So we got our entry point ERR parameter. So let's quickly submit it. Press enter and we have our first task completed. Next, it says use the entry point to perform local file inclusion. So we already have done that, and it says read HC flag file. So let's go back and paste HC flag here and press enter. Scrolling down, we can see our flag here. Yeah, that was pretty easy, just a local file inclusion. Let's paste it here, and our task 2 is done too. It says use the PHP filter technique to read the source code of index.php. What is the flag variable value? There are certain things to note here that are, it says use the PHP filter technique to read the source code of index.php file. So whenever you are reading a PHP file on a PHP server that runs PHP code, you have to use a filter. You just cannot specify the full file PHP file location and include it, because it will execute it. So this won't work. So for example, let me show you it live. So let's copy this URL, and instead of index.php, let's go to login.php page, and we can see uh, it's a username password field. So this is a login page, and if I try to include this login.page here, it will not tell me that, it will not output the source code. Instead, it will execute the PHP code. So I will see the login.php page, just like we saw a couple seconds ago. So I press enter, and you can see it says fatal error, cannot redeclare guest user agent previously declared in. So yeah, it is trying to execute the PHP code, and based upon that, it outputted some errors. So yeah, this is not possible until and unless you use filters to get the source code of PHP file. So we are going to do that. So let's take a look at those filters. What are they? So let's try reading the etc password file using the PHP filter wrapper. So let's try doing this. Let's see what this command does. So let's see. Let's see password, and we press enter, and we have this file just like before we did. So it's just using the PHP filter, but what difference does it make? And it says not try to read index.php file using the PHP filter, and we get errors because the web server tries to execute the PHP code. And yeah, that's true. Like we saw before, if we try index.php page source code, then it will just show the errors because it's executing the PHP code. So to get past that, we need to use filters. And what filter should we use? We are going to use the convert to base64 encode. So let's copy this. I'll explain you what it does. Yeah, so what's happening here is, you can see PHP, and then it tells that yeah, it's using a PHP filter, and then the string you see here is convert.base64 encode. So you specify file name here, that is etc password file, and the contents inside that password file are going to be converted to base64. So base64 is an encoding that encodes your text. So what will happen here is the contents inside the password file will be encoded to base64. So this is helpful in viewing the source code of PHP file, because the uh, PHP was executing. So if we can convert the PHP source code into base64 and then output it on the web page, then it's not going to execute, because it's no more PHP code. It's a base64 converted. Let's change it from etc password to index.php. Press enter, and we can see that we can see base64 string here. So it's a bit hard to copy this way, so I'm going to use a paste source. Scrolling down, triple click here, and we have it copied. Let's open a text editor named index, and then I'll say encoded because it is base64 encoded, and then .php. Paste it in here, save it. Just remove the div tag. Yeah, save it. Oh, okay, and then exit out. Now we need to decode it from base64 to PHP source code. So to do that, we are going to output the contents of index encoded file that was base64 in string, and then we are going to pipe it to base64-d. So base64-d means I am going to decode it as base64, and then I'm going to save the output of this command to another file that is index.php. So let's see what is inside index.php now, and we can see we have our source code here. Perfect. So scrolling up, we can also see our flag here. So let's copy this and submit it quickly. Submit it and done. Okay. Next, it says that McSteady forgot his login credential, so we need to help him to get his password. And it also hints us that inside the PHP file that you have just retrieved, there's a login credential PHP file path. So there's a file path of our PHP file. So you once again you have to use PHP filter technique to read its content. All right, and we can see here it is including a file name creds.php inside the includes folder. Okay, so we have that info. Let's copy this location, and let's go back and replace the index.php with includes slash creds.php. Make sure not to add a slash here, because it will think that includes folder is in your base root directory, because our file is inside the includes folder. So we are going to say go inside includes and then creds.php file. Press enter here, and then scrolling down we can see our string that is converted into base64. View the page source and then copy this, and once again we are going to make a new file named creds, I'll say, sorry, encoded.php, because this is encoded in base64. Save it, exit out. Once again we are going to do the same thing that was get this the get creds decoded, sorry, encoded, then parses into base64 decode and save it as creds.php. Let's output the contents of creds.php, and we have our user here with the password. Okay, that is awesome. Let's submit it quickly. Make a skitty and then password, and we have it done. Next one, it says user credentials login to the web application and help make a skitty to recover the server's password. So what is the password of the flag.tsm.aoc server? So now we need to recover the server's password. Okay, try logging in with the passwords we have found. It was make it skitty and the password I pasted, and we are in as make it skitty, and it says password recovery. Let's go here. Scrolling down we can see it says welcome make skitty, keep this information secure, and we have our flag here, and the password of ftp.thm.aoc is 123321. Let's copy this flag, paste it here, and we have it done. So there's another way of doing this task also, and that is you can again use the PHP wrappers here, sorry, PHP filters. And how do you know the location of password recovery? And that is here in the index.php file. Scrolling up, oops, yeah, if you scroll up you can see location includes sorry, not this one, yeah, this one, manage.php. So once you go inside manage.php, you'll be able to see the location of password recovery. So once you retrieve this manage.php via using this PHP filter technique, you'll be able to get the password, you will be able to get the flag that we have just submitted. So yeah, there are two ways of doing this. The easy one is of course this one without using the filters. Okay, enough. That being said, let's move on to our next task. Sorry for the sloppy cut. Due to some reason I had to stop the recording, so Let's continue. So here we have the application log servers, and we need to gain RCE via LFI page. Via LFI, okay. So we know in the log system, our actions are logged in. We know that we are McSKD, and when we're logged in, we are guest, and our IP is logged in, just as we are told here. Our user agent is logged in here, and also the location that you're trying to access, like index.php, login.php, manage.php, etc., are logged in. So let's just try accessing a page on this server that does not exist. For example, does not exist. And I tried that and I refreshed the page to see if that location has been logged into this log file. And I can see that that location did not pop up here. And looks like this web server is only logging the location that does exist on the server, and it removes the one that does not exist on the server. So for example, if I try login.php here, it will take me to manage.php because I'm logged in. So let's just refresh the page. And we can see we have manage.php and logs.php. So yeah, it's fetching the results for the location that does exist on this box. So if I try to generate a PHP code here after manage.php to get it on the log file, then it will say not found and the location that does not exist are not logged in. So there's no way of getting our code embedded in log file via file location. So let's just remove the file location from our mind and let's focus on these three. The IP we cannot change, of course, so just we're not gonna focus on that. So we have two remaining, that is user and user agent. Now you can change user agent via burp suite or just simple DevTools in Chrome or Firefox, and you can also do this via the username. So when we are not logged in, it says guest. So let's do this both the ways. So we're gonna do this first of all via the user agent. Uh, so let's open the inspect element and then let's go to network. Okay, then what I'm gonna do here is let's open the DevTools here, go to network tab, and then I'm gonna open manage.php. And then you can see I have the manage.php request here, get request. Now I'm gonna edit it. Click on edit and resend, and then in the place of user agent, just specify our PHP code. Like I'm gonna say, oops, PHP info, just to check if our PHP code is working or not. PHP info displays the information about the installation of PHP on your server. Okay, so let's just send it, and it says 200. Okay, and then if we see this request, just click on it once and then you'll see your user agent to this means our user agent did change. Perfect. All right, so we should have been logged in to this log file, and we can see here that only manage.php is being reflected here, not the user agent. It's empty. If you use the web page source here, you can see php info right here. And you must be thinking, why is it not working? Why is this code not executing on this web page? And that is because we are inside the free tags here, free tags and code tag. So this does not let us execute any code. Instead, it will display the code as it is. That is a specialty of free tags and code tags. Therefore, we know that we cannot do anything. We cannot get any kind of code interaction via this logs.php page. But we know that the log file location is at includes app.access.log. So if I just try to access this location, you can see that it pops up to download the log file. And I click on that and I have my PHP code right here. Perfect, okay? So I have the location of the file that I have access to on the server and that has my PHP code embedded in it. But now I want it on a web page on this server to get it executed. And at first we saw that ERR is a parameter where we can include files, potentially LFI. So let's move on there. For that we need to open our private window because we are logged in. and in the private window we will not be logged in. So let's go to index.php quickly. Error.error.text. Perfect. Now instead of this, I'll type in includes logs app.access.log to get my log file here, and we have it here. And also you can see our code of PHP inputted to get execute on this server because there is no pre-tags here. So it just displays the log file as it is, and it has my PHP code, so that PHP code did got executed. Perfect. Now here you can see your Apache version and a couple of useful information. It also tells your current working directory, I guess. Let's see. Maybe it's what, yeah. So the document root is what the HTML, and in HTML you have your index.php. All right. So now we know the flow of getting our code execution on this server. Let's make another request. I've shown you using the user agent. Let's try doing another code execution using user. So for that we have to be logged out. So let's just log out of this page, log out, and now we are guest. All right. If I try to log in here, and then in place of username, I say test username, and keep the password empty, try to sign in, and it will say test username, invalid username. And at this point, if you try to access your logs, let's do this, refresh the page. And in the log file, we should have, let's do one thing. Open the page source. Scrolling down, we can see the test username, our username that we enter in the username parameter when logging in is getting reflected here. So that's one way of getting our code included in the log file. So in place of username, I'll get my PHP code here that will give me a code execution on this server. So I'm saying PHP system using system function. I'm gonna tell it to execute the command that I parse into the Cmd parameter, and whatever I type inside the Cmd parameter should be thrown into the system, and system will execute it and show me the output. All right, so let's click on sign in, and then you can see our PHP code is being embedded. And if we refresh the page here, you can see it says warning and cannot execute a blank command. So it means our PHP code indeed is get executing, and it's showing some errors also. All right. So at this point, we can see the system command we typed in is not being displayed here. Instead of being displayed, it is just getting executed and not showing me. So it's using system function, and then says cannot execute a blank command. Okay. So let's just try parsing command into Cmd parameters. So if you try using question mark as a parameter name, it will not work here. Why? Because we already have one parameter with the question mark. So if you want to use another one, then you have to use ampersand sign or and sign, and then specify the parameter name, that is Cmd, and then type the command you want to execute. I'll say id. Press enter, then let's scroll down and view the page source because it's a bit untidy. And yeah, we can see that our code did get executed. You can see www.data, so it's getting executed. So I'm gonna execute my commands here because I don't want to click on view page source every time. So I'm gonna say who am I? Scrolling down, it tells me we are www.data. Perfect. Now the question is asking us what is the host name. So I'm gonna type host name. You can also do this via user agent the same way I did show you before. So our username, our host name is this. So let's go here, paste it in, submit, and then we have it done. Then bonus, here it says the current PHP configuration stores the PHP session files in temporary directory. Use the LFI to call PHP session file to get your PHP code executed. So here it is saying that your PHP session file is getting stored in the template folder. Honestly, this is my favorite way of getting RC through LFI. I just love this way. So here, if you just view your cookies Let's open not the screenshot, man. Yeah. You go to storage, and then you can see that your session ID is this. This is your cookie. You are unique. You are assigned a cookie. And these cookies in PHP are stored on the web server in any location. And most of the times it is stored in temporary directory. So let's see. If I say ls-la inside temporary directory, I'm just telling it to show me all the files that are inside temporary directory using the RCV gain through LFI. You can see that inside temporary folder we have uh, these three files, this session and then the cookie name. So this is how the session cookies are stored on the server, starting with the session, then underscore, and then your cookie name. So if I fetch my cookie name here, uh, one, yeah, so this is my cookie name, and then my cookie name is stored with this file name. So let's just see what is inside this thing. So if I say cat session and then my cookie, oh, of course I need to specify the location that is inside temporary. Okay, scrolling down. Looks like it is empty. There's nothing inside the file. Um, Going back, we can see that there's another file. That is 47 file size, I guess. So let's see this. What's inside this one? So I'm gonna say cat temporary and then this file name. And we can see here a unique line that pop up saying username string, s means string, and then 30 characters. And what are 30 characters here? 30 is the length of this string. So if you count this, this is 30 characters. And how do I know that? So let's just go to CyberChef real quick. And then just paste in here, and you can see here it says length 30. So yep, this is a string. You can see this is a string, and then the length of this string is 30 characters. All right. So it looks like once we are assigned a cookie, and then if we try to log in using any username, I logged in with this username. So this username was stored in the cookie. And when fetching the cookie in the temporary directory, we can see that our username field, whatever we input inside username field, is getting pop up here. So what you can do at this point is you can just go to temporary and then just go to temporary and then your cookie name here, that was session, and then your cookie name. I'll just type anything like this, and then what you do is just type the parameter name cmd equals to OMI, and then you have your code execution on the server. So we are gonna do this way. So what to do that, I have to go to the login page once more. So we have the login page here, and as you know that I need to be in one session only to make it work, because uh, I'm assigned a cookie that no other user have that cookie assigned. So I have to do everything with this cookie name and with this session only. So the data is captured in this cookie name. So I'll just go to this login page real quick. Let's remove this and then login. And before I do that, I just want to show you that there's nothing inside the cookie right now. So I'll just go to temporary and then my cookie name. Cookie is this. So Control C and then session underscore this. And you can see that temporary, there's nothing popping up right now. Even if I view the page source here, then you can see uh, there's nothing below this. So yeah, our cookie is empty right now. There's nothing inside. If I type here hi, just hi, and then try to sign in, and then it says hi in your username. I refresh the page here of my session cookie, and then you can see here a string pops up here, which says username string 2 characters, and then 2 characters are hi. And then you can see that yeah, we can access our cookie, and then whatever we input inside the username field is getting reflected here. So why not just input a PHP code here to get RCE on this page? That's simple. Once you understand it, it's very simple. So let's just do the same payload again, system cmd, and then sign in. refresh this page, and then you can see the warning, and that's a good sign. So let's just append up ampersand sign cmd equals to hostname, press enter, and we have our code execution on this server. So there, I should just showed you the three ways of getting RCE here. So this is really awesome. Now you can also get a fully TTY shell here. You can get a reverse shell here. So I'll open our netcat listener here, and then let me see my TryHackMe IP real quick. My TryHackMe IP is 10.8.14.24. Okay. So let's see if Python is installed on this server. So I'll say which Python, and it says user bin Python. So Python 3 is installed. Let's see if Python 3 is installed. Python 3 is not installed. All right, so only Python is installed. So what I'll do is I'll go to reverse shell sheet, and then I'll copy this Python payload here and place it here. Then replace the IP with my TryHackMe IP that was 10. Okay, 10, 18, 14, 24. I have already opened netcat listener put 1 to 3, so press enter here, and it's loading, and that's a good sign of getting a reverse shell. And you can see that we have a reverse shell here. Perfect. And now we have fully compromised this server. We are not root, but at least we have remote code execution on this server. You can see every files that are being listed here, that is sensitive data, etc, etc. So I know this is getting a little out of scope because this room is already complete, but I just want to show you what all is here. Let's see what's inside htxs. And nothing interesting. Let's go back one more step back, and then looks like we are inside a Docker container. Let me export Thermicus to xterm to clear our screen. Yep. So looks like we're inside a Docker container because it's .docker env. And let's go inside the root. And there's nothing. So yeah, we are inside the Docker container. So we'll have to do another video of just enumerating the Docker for potential privilege escalation to the root. So I hope this video was a little bit educational, and this took me almost a day to make this video because I had to reset my box multiple times, and my battery died and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.